Please thank you for watching. This is Viper's Girl 2. I'm Rosa. I woke up neatly tucked in bed with my crutches over the bedside table. I must have slept off and maybe the maid tucked me in. I sat up and stretched my arms, then yawned. Good morning. I have this attitude of saying good morning as my first sentence when I wake up, even when I'm alone. I took the blanket off my body and stared at my legs. I sighed and covered them back with the blanket. The bed is really huge and soft. The bed covers are light blue. The room itself is painted with light blue and white. At the end of the room was a closet, and just adjacent the closet was where I guessed would be the bathroom. I should definitely check this room out. I gently placed my feet on the cold but smooth floor. I smiled as I grabbed my crutches and balanced on them. I began to walk gently towards the closet. I reached it and opened it. Wow, this should be like a mini boutique when it's filled with clothes. I didn't bother moving in because it was empty, except for the hangers. I turned and moved toward the bathroom. I opened it and gawked at the sight I beheld. Oh my goodness, I love this. I moved in and stared at every infrastructure in the bathroom. It was really large, like my former bedroom. Everything was white. The floor was plain white and a little bit rough, maybe to make it less slippery. It was demarcated into two parts, one on the left and the other on the right. I moved to the left first. It had a glass wall. I didn't know how or where to open it. I frowned in frustration. I moved to the other one, which had a long white curtain. I found the entrance and moved in. My eyes met a large bathtub first. Then a glass room with a shower in it. Other things were there, but I don't know their names. I turned to go when I saw a television. What? A television? In here? Why? I stood watching it surprisingly. I shook my head and moved out of the whole bathroom. I met a maid in the room arranging the curtains. I was startled at first because I wasn't expecting to see anybody. The maid turned and saw me. She bowed and my eyes widened. Is she bowing to me? Good morning, ma'am. Oh no. Please, don't call me that. I'm Rosa, call me Rosa. I bowed too. I'm sorry, ma'am, but boss has ordered us to respect you, so I don't have another choice. I frowned a little. I knew it was bad boy who gave them the order, and I didn't want him to punish her for disobeying him. Okay. I'm sorry for trying to make you disobey him. It's okay, ma'am. Please, it's almost time for breakfast. You can just wash up and come downstairs. I twitched my lips. Can't I just have breakfast here? I only have one clothing and that's what I'm wearing. She moved to the bed and brought a bag. You can just wear this for now. She stretched forth the bag. I leaned on my right crutch and took it from her. Thank you. She bowed and left, saying she would come back in 30 minutes. I moved to the bed and sat down, then opened the bag. It was a blue dress. I dropped it and moved to the bathroom. I sighed when I got in. This is going to be a very long and stressful bath. Finally, I got out of the bathroom, and I think I almost spoilt some things because I couldn't use them but wanted to try. After spending 10 minutes touching things that began to malfunction, I decided to just use the shower. Even the shower was a problem. The one I know is just to turn a knob and water will start falling. But this one is something else, so many buttons and handles. I didn't even know what to touch. In order not to regret anything, I began to read the signs on each of the buttons till I found the one I wanted. Water began to fall from the shower head. I smiled and pressed the button and it stopped. I began to laugh in victory. I hurriedly took my shower and left. I looked at the wall clock on the wall. I've spent 20 minutes already. I quickly wore the dress without applying lotion because there was none. A knock came on the door. You can come in. The maid walked in. Are you ready, ma'am? I nodded and stood up. She smiled as I walked towards her. Slowly we left the room and walked down the hallway a little. We got to an elevator. We'll have to use the elevator because you can't walk down the stairs with your crutches. I nodded and began to bite my lips. This happens when I'm nervous. I've never entered an elevator before, and I overheard some kids in my neighborhood saying that it makes people throw up. I swallowed a lump as I stepped in with her. It closed as she was pressing a button. I began to hear an engine sound but didn't feel anything. I wanted to ask the maid why it refused to move, but the door opened and she stepped out, my face puzzled, confused face up. I stepped out involuntarily and she gestured for me to follow her. So we're already downstairs? Wow, the elevator isn't bad at all and it's stress-free. This is the dining area. The table is already set so you can just eat. She moved a chair back for me and bowed. If you need anything, you can just call the chief maid using that telephone. She pointed to a telephone on the wall. I nodded and she left. I was already sitting down on the chair but I was still nervous. I'm scared of seeing bad boy. I don't know what to do if I see him. Should I stand up and bow? Or I should start thanking him for helping yesternight? What if he gets irritated by the way I eat since I don't eat with etiquette? Or maybe he was drunk when he helped me last night. I was so engrossed in my thoughts that I didn't even uncover the food. It was when maids started passing by that I became conscious of myself and uncovered the food. It was seafood salad, shrimps, fried shrimp and grits with sardines and a few of salmon. I smiled and took the cutlery. I really love seafood. I began to eat happily. I can't even remember the last time I ate like this. It's so delicious. Yummy face. I thank God that I learned how to use cutlery to eat, or I'll still be staring at the food. I heard movements behind me and I quickly looked back. I breathed in when I saw that it wasn't bad boy, it was just a janitor trying to mop the floor. I faced my food again and finished it. I took the juice and gulped it down quickly. I decided to leave the plates on the table because no one was in sight. I took my crutches again and balanced on them. To be honest, I hate these things. It's frustrating. I just can't wait to start walking by myself. I wanted to go back inside but couldn't because of the stairs and I don't know how to use the elevator. I turned and moved through a partition, then I came out in the living room. I gasped again. Wow, bad boy does have high taste. I heard his father is a top engineer in Europe, so I'm not surprised at the way his house is. He should be super rich. A different maid walked towards my direction. Good morning, ma'am. Would you like to watch the television? Why are all these maids being nice to me? I'm not used to it and I feel a little bit uncomfortable. No, it's okay. I don't want to watch the TV. She bowed and I frowned. If you want anything, you can order me to do them now. I don't want anything. I just want to ask a question. Go ahead, miss. Where is bad boy? Is he out yet? Bad boy doesn't live here. He just comes like once in a blue moon. I was surprised. I thought this was his house, but why keep such a place if he doesn't make use of it? When last did he come here? Apart from this morning that he came for just 5 minutes, we haven't seen him for like 5 months. And you live here? Yes, miss. Wow. I'll just go and do some chores. I nodded and she bowed and left. So this isn't his actual house. Then where exactly does he live? I shrugged and sat on a cushion in the living room. Bad boy. I dialed one of my men's number to ask about the progression of the weapons we were to smuggle in. A top official needs some thugs and he came to meet me for the job. I told him we needed weapons and he settled me amicably. Now that's a blow on Ron's face. He thinks he can overtake me? Ha ha ha, never going to happen. I sat on the rocking chair and waited for him to pick the call. My hands were filled with rings and boyish bracelets. My feet were clad in heavy sneakers. As usual, I was wearing black, my favorite color. Finally he picked the call. Hello boss. Are the weapons here yet? I was just about to call you, sir. They've arrived undetected. Bravo. Send them to the hideout immediately. Okay boss. I hung up and laughed. The guards around me smiled. It was quite obvious I just entered my good mood and I usually favor them when I'm happy. I quickly called the man. Hello Mr Yoon. Bad boy. Your weapons have arrived but we need money to settle the men who did the job. But I thought I've settled you the way you want it. No buts, mister. I don't have the time to give you the analysis, but if you want this job done, do as I say. Okay, how much do you want? Any amount you think is good for bad boy. He laughed. I know what you want. I'll send the money right away. I smirked and hung up. Then I shouted to the men in the house, everyone, we're going to party confetti. Find your way to the club. They began to cheer and raise their guns in jubilation. I took my keys and made my way to my car. I made another phone call to Ms. Tim, telling her to get me the most beautiful and sexy girls to spend my money with. I love having my fun with more than one girl. I most times have it as a threesome. Tonight is going to be hot. Rosa, it's already 9 p.m, bad boy still didn't come. Not that I want him to come, but I was expecting him to. I thought he'll check up on me. I went back to my room after watching a movie in the living room. I figured out how to use an elevator. I opened the door to my room and sighed when I saw the shopping bags on my bed. I haven't arranged the clothes into the closet yet. It was the chief maid that ordered them for me. I moved into my room fully and took the bags to the floor. Then I sat down. I began to hear voices in the hallway. A masculine voice was amidst it. I stood up and walked hurriedly with my crutches to the door. I opened it and peeped. I gasped when I saw Bad Boy in the company of two girls dressed like harlots. They were caressing him as he staggered to a room. I frowned and went back inside. What a fool. You didn't even care to check on me. I thought you were busy, but you're with your bitches again. I slammed the door and walked back to the bed. That my existence means nothing to anyone. I have no worth. The only person who saw me useful was Mom, and she died because I couldn't take her to the hospital. I began to cry into my pillow until I slept off. Bad boy, I paid the bitches off and they left at dawn. They're even amateur. I hate that. I got down from the bed and washed up. I don't even know where I am. This isn't my clubhouse where I normally bring my girls. I really drank to stupor last night, so I don't think I was in my right mind when I came here. Fortunately, my clothes were in the closet. This should be one of my houses that I hardly enter because these clothes are old ones. I slipped into black shorts and a black vest. I took my black flip-flops, which were hairy, and walked to the door. I entered the hallway and looked up to see a girl with crutches gawking at me. I stopped and frowned at her. She isn't a maid. What is she doing here? Why are you staring at me coldly? She shuddered and moved backwards. She began to bow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I frowned again. What a weirdo. Why is she repeating words? I looked at her leg. Wait. I looked at her face again. Isn't this the girl I took to the hospital? Aren't you the girl that was shot? And I couldn't complete my statement because she was moving back and she lost balance on her crutches, so she fell with a scream. I groaned angrily. I watched her. She couldn't stand up. I sighed and bent down. She was visibly scared of me. Now I remember, I saw her on the streets and brought her, but I did it out of drunkenness. She should be glad I didn't rape her. You're really clumsy and stupid not to hold yourself well. Your punishment is you have to get yourself up or wait till someone comes this way and helps you up. She stared at me as I stood up and I felt her eyes following me till I went out of sight. I'm not seeing any workers around yet. Seems she's going to stay there till I change my mind and help her up. It's not my fault she's crippled anyway. Watch out for part 3. Please leave your comments and subscribe to see more Vipers Girl 3.